where it takes us. So page 213, on the bottom of Hashishi, 2 paragraphs up. Vashishi ki aboteich be'elokim hu ahuv l'kol kitos b'nei adam v'daitam nocha olav. V'nei she'en betuchen hazakaso v'libum shalem mechamaso v'lo yivchadu mimenu al nesheim v'amamon. So he says the sixth difference, a person who relies on God, someone with bitachon, is beloved by all types of people. And they feel at ease with him because they feel secure that he will not harm them. The Baal Bitachon is not going to harm them. And their heart, and their hearts are at peace because of him. They feel certain shleimus, a certain peace around him. They're not afraid of his taking their wives or their money, their ideas, whatever else. Because a person with bitachon is not a ganav. A person with bitachon trusts in a higher source. A person with bitachon is a calm, happy, loving person. Therefore, he's not trying to manipulate. He's not trying to take from anybody else because he has what a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants him to have. And if he needs to get something else, he'll do it in the appropriate way, the proper way. So people, therefore, love him. They want to connect with him. V'hu gam kein batuach mehem, mipnei sheyodea sheto'alto v'nizko einam biyad nivra v'lo biyachalto, v'yal kein einenu, next page, mefachen mehazakosam kasha einenu mekave hanaas. He too, the Baal Bitachon also, he feels secure with them, with other people, because he knows that his benefit or harm from them are not in the hands of any creation. Not benefit nor harm are truly in the hands of any person that he's dealing with. Nor is it in their power to do either good or bad to him. Ultimately, nobody can harm him unless a Kadosh Baruch Hu decides. Therefore, he is not afraid of their harming him. Not afraid means not being foolish. It means that if you choose that these are people that you want to deal with, be friends with, do business with, whatever, if you did your proper hishtadlus, then your heart can be at ease. Why? Not because of them, because you can never put your heart fully in somebody else, because you never really know if they're having your best interest at heart. Rather, your heart is with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. If you've worked on bitachon, you're with the Bari Olam, Kadosh Baruch Hu. I did my research, right? Because we're partners. Me and Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu, I did my research. It looks like I should connect with these people. If you don't think I should, let me know. But I tried to work it out. It seems to be that they're honest. I've done my research. So I'm going to hang out with them. And if for whatever reason they fail, they don't act the way that I thought they would, then it must be because you wanted me to learn a lesson. Talking to Kadosh Baruch Hu, before you even start the relationship, you already are setting forth the rules of how you're going to try your best to act and to react and to be. And therefore that limits a lot of the problems that when we're behind the eight ball. After a person stabs you in the back, chas v'shalom, then you start to get, how could it be? How did he do it to me? Kadosh Baruch Hu, how could that be? I'm such a good guy. And then you get caught in this for a day, 2 days, 3 days a week, 2 months, 6 months, 10 years, or still till today. Maybe never actually being able to calm yourself down. But if you play the game right, it's not a game. It's life itself. It's bitachon, real. It's not a joke. It's a real bitachon. You can protect yourself. It's like the greatest insurance. Well, how do you say insurance in Hebrew? Probably. I don't know. It probably has to do with bitachon, though. I think that's where, the way I say insurance in Hebrew? Bituach, right. It has to do with bitachon. That's the greatest insurance policy. Now, insurance policy does not mean monetary. Insurance policy here means emotional, right? Which is your whole life. If you have your head and your heart, you're good to go. If you have no money, but you have a head and heart, you're good. If you have all the money in the world, but no head, no heart, then good luck to you, sir. So the true insurance of life that we can boteach in, that will give us that self-confidence is to have a trusting relation to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And a trusting relation to the Kadosh Baruch Hu means you have a relationship with him. You don't just speak to him once a day, once a year, once in 6 months. You're constantly in contact with him. He's your best business partner. He's your deepest relationship. So again, before you deal with anybody, anything, we should get into the mode, because it should become ragil, that we're speaking, we're thinking with the Kadosh Baruch Hu first. and then engaging in whatever else it is. It will help us. Nothing's perfect.
Is it direct perspective? If someone does stab you in the back, and let's say you say, I don't understand what's happening to you, Coach Baruch Hu knows what's best, obviously, but is it direct perspective to say, maybe that person needs to work on themselves, or should we just continue to just focus on ourselves and not think about the person who did the act?
I mean, unless you can help him, of course that person needs to get help. Saying if he actually stabbed another person in the back, he was very mean. Sorry.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you look at it this way, say, well, maybe Coach Baruch Hu is sending me a message that I need to learn from this experience. You know,
that's for sure. That's for sure.
But is that, can I?
Step one is that. Step one, like we always say, we have to split it. Step one is me and a Kadosh Baruch Hu within this relationship, within this experience. Something happened from another person, from the weather, from the stock market. It affected me. It doesn't matter if it's a human being, if it's a robot, if it's the weather, right? It doesn't matter. It hit me, and it's between me and a Kadosh Baruch Hu to deal with this situation. Right. Obviously, I have to learn a lesson. You'll say the same. Obviously, I have to learn a lesson from it. Right. But the goal with Bitachon is to stay calm and stay that there's a tachlis to this.
But what say,
after that,
is it also healthy to say maybe this person, needs help or?
So after that, once you come and your head is straight, now you could start, if you want, to try to engage with that person. Now, to yell and scream at the person, I mean, it depends. Sometimes you do need to do that. If it's coming from a place of, this person needs to be educated. What happens if a kid's going to run in the street? It doesn't mean you have to actually be angry inside. Or if a person does something that if he does it to somebody else, he's going to get beat up. So we from a calm head, from a place of there is a point to this. The Borei Olam set this up for me. You can then go to level 2 and engage in that person in the way you see fit, but it has to be from a place of bitachon. There's a limit. It's unlimited amounts of, situations that can happen. But try to set yourself first. Usually we don't. Usually we just quickly react to the person, to the situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So there's no rules to this. It's just, you have your head on straight. You can make the right decision. With a kid, with another person, it could be anybody. All different situations.
So we talked about, like, when there's people in your life personally that, or let's say, that have a stressful personality, and that stress causes you to be stressed. So we discussed, like, is it my bitachon job to worry about their bitachon? And we came from here, it's not our job. I think to go to them afterwards, it's not a thing of bitachon, it's life. They, like, fix yourself. But in terms of the way we're reacting, it's our own reaction.
No, we have to internalize it first, that's for sure.
Right.
But I want to say it's a healthy perspective.
I would just stay away from that person.
Sometimes yeah, but sometimes no. Sometimes what happens is your kid.
Yeah.
What happens to your wife?
Right.
You have to then engage, but you have to do it from the proper head. Very often we don't lock in bitachon first. We don't think, and we make big mistakes. So again, so this person, he feels secure with other people because he knows that his benefit or harm are not in their hands, and not in the hands of any creation, nor it is in their power to either do good or bad with him. And this takes work. We have to be there. You can't just read a book and say, okay, snap your fingers. Over time. Therefore, he is, next page, not afraid of their harming him. Remember, you did your hishtadlus. To figure out if this person is an appropriate person to connect with. And therefore you can become them. Your heart can be open. Like we discussed, there's an unfortunate, everybody's different personalities to start off, so there's no one personality. But there are certain people who live in a state of tzimtzum. They're always nervous they're not like all day long like shaking, but they're not willing to open up to people because they're just nervous. Whether because they had a bad experience in the past, whether it's just their personality, doesn't really matter. I said that they can't have deep relationships, and it could also affect even their marital relationship, their relationship with their children, they don't even have good deep friends, which is so healthy, so important. We know on many levels, even in health, physical health, to have good relationships, but they can't. They can't go deep with people because they're just nervous. They're just nervous people are going to harm them. They're going to stab them in the back. Not even monetarily, just revealing something that they said. And again, it doesn't mean you're supposed to reveal everything. That's not what we're saying here. But bitachon in a Kadosh Baruch Hu lessens the intensity that we have with other people. And therefore a person can be at ease. We don't have to live a life of fight or flight. You know what I mean? People they're not at ease. They're always tight. It's a bit tzimtzum. So a person's not afraid of their harming him, just as he's not expect to benefit from them. We have to make sure that we play both sides of this. Just like we want to be able to live calmly with other people, that they're not going to harm us, or that a Kadosh Baruch Hu's behind it, whether we hold it to be harm or not, from that person. Remember, the trust is that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who's deciding to do it, and therefore there must be a purpose for it. But just as we can be at ease that they're not going to be able to harm us, we also have to believe that they're not the ones who are going to benefit us. It's ultimately Kadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, you want to go to your best friend, you want to go to this person that they should help you, and they say no. You get all upset. Why can't you just help me? I've helped you a million times. For whatever he gives them excuse. You get all upset. You get bothered. Why didn't he help you? We can limit that reaction if we play our bitachon cards right. And the bitachon cards are that a Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who wants you to be helped, and he will decide if you should be helped and how you should be helped. To ever rely fully on a person without having a Kadosh Baruch Hu at your side, you're in a danger zone, an emotional danger zone. These things happen all the time. People don't help each other. You expected their help. Now you know the word expectation. That's the most dangerous word in the book. But if we can properly download our bitachon, and we truly, truly believe that only a Kadosh Baruch Hu can help us, and only Kadosh Baruch Hu can harm us, and he uses the myriads and millions of thousands of messengers, and whoever he does, again, we can disengage with the intense relationships we have, with the expectations we have on people. I don't need to expect it. I trust that Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of it the way he's supposed to take care of it. We have to be thinking like this. It's not just going to happen. Be thinking like this. And again, build that trusting relationship. It's not just we read the book, automatically have a trusting relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. You have to build that. You have to be a person who's when situations happen and they don't go your way, and you work through it with bitachon. That's how you build bitachon. We're all going to make mistakes and fall and be upset, and we expected this, we expected that with monetary or these people. It happens all the time. Religious davening and learning. All the time we expected certain things and it goes down. But then that's the time to really build your bitachon. Okay, one second. Let's stop for a second. What happened here? Was Kadosh Baruch in the picture? Was he not in the picture? If he's not in the picture, let's bring him into the picture. How could I bring him into the picture? Well, really, it's all up to him, whether I daven well, whether I make the money. It must be that he decided it's not for me right now. I have to be able to surrender to that. I have to accept that. Kadosh Baruch, you want the best for me. You've always been with me. You're the one who gives me every single thing I have that's good. So why would you not give me this now? It must be it's not good for me. You have to work through with this language, with thinking. Speaking is even better. Again and again and again. That's how you build a relationship. The Borei Olam's not going to appear to you as a tzaddik with a white beard. He's in your heart and your head. He's everywhere. But for your purposes, he's in your heart. He's in your head. Talk to him. Be with him. Think about him. That's the way you build. You will see. If you do this, you will have the wherewithal to just simply not get caught in these emotional roller coasters of life as much as you did before, or as intense as you did before. So it's good to make mistakes. It's good to fail. It's good to have emotional turmoil. It is a fertile ground for bitachon work. If nothing's going wrong in your life, everything is perfect, so either you're the biggest Baal bitachon in the world, or you might have zero bitachon because you weren't tested. Right? If we're sitting in this room right now, it's very easy not to be angry. It's very easy not to be impatient. It's super easy. Look at us. We're perfect human beings. I'm not angry right now. I'm happy. This is great. Until you get tested and you go home and then you deal with your wife and your kids and whatever else during the day and your boss and So look at the tests of life as opportunities for growth. That's just the yesod klali in all of Avodas Hashem, in all of life really. But use bitachon. Don't just use calming down methods. Don't just use whatever else that you've used. If you want to work in bitachon, use bitachon. It doesn't make bitachon makes all bad things go away. Bitachon helps make bad things not be so bad. Bitachon doesn't give you money. Bitachon allows you to live without money happily. Right? Bitachon doesn't say, "Oh, your relationships are going to be amazing." It's going to make the relationships that are appropriate even better and enhanced. It'll allow you to cut ties with certain relationships that are unhealthy. Sometimes we hold on to relationships with people because we expect money from them. We expect kavod from them. We expect kavod because we're with them. We don't even realize what we're thinking. But with bitachon, we don't need to rely on other people. We want to be friends with other people. We want to connect to other people, but not rely on them and give ourselves over to them. That they have our heart in their hand. And they don't even mean to sometimes hurt us. But because we gave our heart to them and they're holding on to it, they have the power over us. Again, they don't even know that sometimes. They're not even mean people. They just didn't say good morning to you because they were thinking about something else. But you were expecting a good morning from this person. Maybe a Rebbe of yours. Maybe somebody else who you look up to. That you have a good relationship with them. And for whatever reason, they didn't smile at you this morning. And for that, you just lost an entire davening because you got upset. You don't even realize why you got upset. You went to daven, you're like droopy. Your daven was abysmal. Afterwards, you're thinking, like, what happened? Like, what happened to you today? I was so good, happy in the morning. I come out of daven, I'm not happy. What happened? You think about it. Right? Thinking is good. It's very important. Oh, 1 second. When did it all change? Oh, when I was walking to shul, that person who I respect didn't smile at me. We don't realize how these micro moments, these micro emotions, for that 1 microsecond, he didn't smile at you, you went down, and then your entire davening was down. You're lucky you caught it after davening. This happens all the time. Do you ever do this? You ever have it where just something is bothering you and you, like, what? 1 second, let's stop for a second. What is going on over here? Like, where did this come from? And you start to think. And it was because some tiny nothing is going on all day long. But bitachon can help all these things. You're smiling.
I'm smiling because Rebbe just went off about this. I went on a share recently. He's like, people like come home from shul on Friday night all in a bad mood because the guy didn't say the Shabbos thing the way he wanted to say the Shabbos thing.
Here's what happens. So we have to become bigger boys. Just stop. We need thicker skin. But if a person's living a life of bitachon, he's not relying on other people. He's even more friendly with other people. He could be even friendlier. His relationships could be enhanced because he's really relying on the Kadosh Baruch Hu. He's not holding back. And he says in 2:14, he says, "Ukeshu batuach mehem, veim betuchim mimenu, yoahavim v'yoahavuhu, k'moshe kosev habotech b'Hashem chesed yisov avenu." Since he, the Baal Bitachon, feels secure with them, and they feel secure with him, he will love them, and they will love him. It's a very powerful line. Don't take that easy. According to the Chavos Babos, right here, not all love and all ahava is based on bitachon, but a very serious ahava, a deep ahava, a ahava that's not bound, is dependent on bitachon. Bitachon on Kadosh Baruch Hu, not bitachon on that person. Think about this. This is a huge inyan in our relationships, especially the deeper ones, the ones that are closer to us, the ones that you want to have a heart-to-heart relationship with. Right? Your business partner, you don't have to love him. But your family, you do. Your best friends, you do. How are you going to be able to fully love and they love you? If you work on bitachon, if you work on trusting in Kadosh Baruch Hu, the deepest nakuda between in two people, in a husband and a wife, is trust. Trust is the basis. If you don't have trust, everything on the surface may or may not be true. May or may not be mirrors. It's not clear. If there's a deep trust between the two, everything can be built. Then you can have the most important emotion. Outward is the ahava, that the connective, right? The ahava is what truly connects the two together. But you can't have the true ahava unless you have trust within each other. You can't have trust within each other fully, unless you. I mean, you can. I'm not going to say not. A person can, but a very powerful way that is probably not used in any of the Shalom Bayis Shmuzin is bitachon and a Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's probably rare to hear such a concept in a Shalom Bayis Shmuz. But if a person has true trust, like we're saying, a person truly trusts in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does is for the best. It's for your best good. It's for your best interests. He knows exactly what you're going through. He knows exactly what tests you need. He knows exactly how you're able to grow. He's been with you since the beginning. He'll be with you till the end. You can fully rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, anything that He sends into your life is for your very best. That doesn't mean it's going to all be peaches and sunny, happy days. It's always going to be for your best, though. So therefore, the ones who are closest to us, who have the ability to test us the most, just because by their closeness, in proximity, and of course, in our hearts, and in expectations. Right? There's an inner world of expectations that flow specifically with our closer relationships. More expectations than the guy who you see in shul, hey, what's going on? You don't expect that much from him, and he doesn't expect that much from you. But when you have a closer relationship, getting closer in family, getting closer and closer, there's automatic expectations. Just the way of life. And we know that expectations can create a lot of harm, a lot of damage, a lot of upsetness, a lot of crankiness, stress, anxiety, all that stuff comes when there's these expectations. How do we limit expectations and how do we calm them down? Trusting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one. I shouldn't really have expectations, even though I will have expectations. I'm a human being. But when my expectations are not met, I have the wherewithal to say, okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want that. He didn't want that. It looks like that person, it was so obvious that person should have helped me. So clear. They know me more than anybody else. How could you not have done that for me? Or how could you have done that to me? How could you have made that mistake? You hurt me. And we're humans. We're allowed to be hurt. But we want to limit. And if you have a trust relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, which is the deepest of all, then you can limit your hurt, you can limit your expectations with even the closest people that we have to us. You can build a deeper trust. You can be more vulnerable. Right? Vulnerable is where you're allowing your heart to go into somebody else's. That's a dangerous proposition. What happens if they hurt me? What happens if they don't hold my heart sacred as I would? But if I hold back, then I can never have that deep relationship with them. So now what do? I can't give myself fully over. Maybe I'm going to get hurt. But if I don't give myself fully over, then I can't have a full relationship. What do? I'm stuck. In this system, I'm stuck. The answer is, you have a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Isn't the Bari Olam behind the whole? Isn't He the one who's truly behind everything? Therefore, I'm able to give over my heart because I'm not expecting or fully trusting in that person that they're never going to harm me. I'm expecting and trusting in the Kadosh Baruch Hu that even if they do harm me, that's okay. It's for my best. I'll deal with it. I'll figure it out. No one's perfect. It allows us to open up. But you have a person who says, I can't be vulnerable. I'm not going to trust that person unless they trust me first. And I can't love that person because until they prove to me that they love me, I can't love them. And what does the other person say? I can't love that person because they don't love me. Standoff. The person might not be saying this out loud, but this is what goes on all the time. Who's going to be the bigger man? Who's going to make the first move? Okay, fine, we'll do it together on 3. Right? And then no one makes the move. So what do you do in that situation? You have that sometimes. 2 people, they're standing off from each other. They're not allowing themselves to connect. That guy, they do it first. We have this, if you're sensitive, we have this all. So either you're just a Balmidas and you're a bigger person and you just been serious in that fish, you realize that you have to do this and you do it. That's one way. But a person can use a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You can use bitachon in this situation as well. If I'm trusting fully in a Kadosh Baruch Hu, then it opens me up. It opens my heart up. It allows me to be true to myself and true to others, even though there might be some pain. But I believe that pain sometimes is okay. L'fum tzara agra, no? Mishnah Perkei Avos. According to the pain is the gain. So everybody thinks it means, okay, you have to learn hard. If you learn really hard, So yeah, it might be hard, but you'll learn. That the Mishnah is talking about just learning. Sometimes pain is the enzyme that opens up our heart. We understand. We would teach our kids, right? A kid goes through a painful situation. What do we try to do? A good, healthy parent. I'm going to lock you in your room, so no one can ever harm you ever again. I will make sure of it. No one will ever enter your room, and no one will ever exit. You just stay in your room your whole life, and nobody will ever bother you. Or how about we teach them pain is part of life. It's going to happen. There's no one's potter from that. But how do we deal with pain? How do we deal with it? Sometimes pain is actually it's rewarding. Sometimes we don't ask for that. We don't ask for nisyonos. But a person who's ever worked through pain with the Emunah Bitachon, if there are those who have done this, you reap some serious benefits. You come a very strong kli. Not a weak kli, a very strong kli. Not stam, you're in pain and you just, time passes and the emotions go down, which is true, Kadosh Baruch Hu made that. If you just let things go, sometimes it passes on, the emotions go down and you forgive and forget or whatever. You never really forgive. But if a person dafka works through it with bitachon, and it's always, you have to bring it back to yourself. Where did pain come from? Pain comes not every time. Again, we speak generally, not every situation. There's always, exclusions. But pain comes from when I didn't get what I want. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. There's, again, don't bring me exceptional cases. There are, for sure, and I'm not dealing with those. I'm dealing with the 85% of life. It didn't go the way I want. It wasn't how I expected it to be. What do you mean to expect? That person was mean to me. How are you saying that was my expectation is that people are nice to me? I can't expect that? I can't expect that people should be nice to me? The answer is no. Why should you expect that? That doesn't mean to walk around your whole day waiting for someone to throw something at you. But why should you expect people to be nice to me? What's the problem? Where's that expectation come from? Why does a person automatically expect that people should always be nice to them? We do. How do you know when someone says something not nice to you, you get bothered? So automatically that means you expected it. Why'd you expect that? What's the reason behind it? Because the human race is just everybody's perfect? What's the if we can try to understand in the mind? One of the reasons, there could be the many, but
because you think you're nice, so you expect the other person to be nice.
That could be. That sounds like is that a good midah or not a good midah? Or is it just a dangerous midah? What is that? Is that true though?
No. A lot of times.
A lot of times, but it's not a rule just because you're nice to other people. What happens if a person had a really bad day? Your best friend, but he had a really, really bad day. Not just that. He expected you to call him, and you didn't. But he's your best friend. You grew up together, and you're the best friend. You take care of this guy. And one time, mom just gives it to you. 1 second, best friend, I'm so nice to you. How could you speak to me like that? It doesn't always work. But that's what we think. Or it's from my own ego, which is really an ego thing. I do to the world, so the world should do to me. Who said? This is not to make the world a scary place. It's to lessen our intensity or expectations of the world.
So where does it come from?
Ego. Being selfish. I want everybody to be nice to me. I expect it. I deserve it. I'm a nice guy. That's what it is. I deserve it. Because I'm nice, so I deserve to be nice. That would be nice. But if we live that way, then it's just a danger zone because we might not always get that.
Which is why the more that what you're saying, that we like ingrain in ourselves about how Hashem is running everything, then your ego like automatically just disintegrates and there's nothing to get.
I think that's the point.
Yeah.
And then you become the strongest person. Because then people could say things to you and you're like, instead of reacting angrily, how can I help you? You must have had a bad day. But we often don't do that. We take a hit. How dare you speak to me like that? This person just lost a loved one. And they're upset. Now you didn't know that. And you just made a comment, a regular buddy, chummy comment you always make. And you didn't know that person just lost somebody. Again, extreme example. And they just lash out at you. Now, they're not lashing out at you. They're lashing out because they're hurting. But you don't know that. And you just go AWOL. And then after your whole tirade, they're like, I just lost my mother. You feel horrible. You feel horrible. But this whole thing we could have worked on either through Midos, but a person who's downloaded Bitachon, his ego lessens. That's what we're talking about over here. Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu decides what's best for you. And therefore, if a person starts lashing out, instead of going on the defense, you're able to go on the happy offense. Hey, buddy, are you okay? What's going on? Right? It doesn't stab you in the heart, and then you have to somehow come to. It didn't even stab you in the heart at all. Otherwise, you hear pain. You can only hear another person's pain. It's a little bit what Rebbe was talking about yesterday. You can only hear another person's pain if you're not just thinking about yourself all the time. That's what he was talking about yesterday. And you can work on that through Midos, so you can work on that through other ways of what is Hashem, but we're pointing out over here, you can work on it through Bitachon as well. That is one of the benefits, one of the byproducts of a true relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, a trusting relationship. You're open, your heart is open up to other people in a healthy, happy way. You could be and that's why people will love you. If you're such a defensive person, every single time someone says something to you that's a little bit off, you always have to fire back, you're going to lose friends one by one. Could be you shouldn't be friends with those people, but if you have the relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you're a calm person, and your ego is going down, your selflessness is going up, you're a happy person, you're a trusting person, you speak about it, you're cheery, people want to be your friend, and you want to be their friend, and they don't want to harm you, you don't want to harm them, we can live as happy people, because we brought a Kadosh Baruch Hu into the picture. We blew the system open with Ein Sof, with Elokus, with Ahava, She'ena Tuli B'Davar. A lot of our Ahavas are totally B'Davar. I love you because you love me. I love you because you give me stuff. I love you because you look good. I love you because maybe down the road I'm going to need you. So I'm going to... Everything's totally. And that's how people love us. Because I'm nice to this person, so they love me. I help this person. So the whole world is just conditional. And when the conditions break, all Gehenna breaks loose. Some little, some a lot. No, I think this, not for everybody. Hopefully this is not for anybody here, but the way to ahava, true ahava, to be vulnerable, to have your heart with other people, to be having trusting relationships, deep relationships, it could be with a spouse, with kids, with friends, with a Rebbe, is very, very much enhanced when a person works on his Bitachon to Kodesh Baruch. That's what we're saying. There are other ways? There are other ways. But this is a very serious way. If we're already working on it, use this tool to its max. Guy was given like a fancy sports car. I don't know. Someone gave him a fancy sports car. And he's driving 40 miles an hour. But you know that this can go like 120? You're in Montana. I'm okay at 40. Use the 120. Use the tool. That's a bad muscle, but you understand. Use the tool for the range that it has. And Bitachon range is limitless. There is no limit to the abilities of Bitachon, because Bitachon is connected to the Ein Sof, to Kadosh Baruch Hu. In this world, there is nothing that's hiding. Yes? Sometimes he has good questions. I have to prepare myself. Drink some Mayim Chaim, yes? Mayim Chaim, go ahead.
No, I've been thinking about things in certain contexts. You sort of alluded to it, but Bitachon, I think, can help us become, like you mentioned, Kli, and become Mekabel vis-a-vis HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when we become Mekabel vis-a-vis HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it doesn't just open the heart becomes overflowing. And it just filled up and overflows, which then allows us to be mashpia on everyone that we come into contact with. So every experience and interaction that we have, instead of feeling like we're taking something in, we're just being mashpia. And if someone, whether it's a positive or negative interaction, because we're having that bitachon and be able to be kabel from Hashem, we can then be mashpia on the world around us. So when I think about it in the context of mashpia and kabel, for me it's very helpful because I'm walking around the world and experiencing everything and trying my best to take that from Hashem and then be mashpia on others.
Everybody's going to appreciate that in a different way, because this is your language. But it's massive. It's a massive thought. If you can I'll say it in a different language if we can understand based on what I'm saying. A lot of our issues, our emotional issues, is because we're makablim of life. We're always looking to receive. Receive. And therefore, if you don't get exactly what you think you need to, and you don't, and it's not as much as you deserve, then you're hurt. But if you're a person who's a mashpia, you're just a pure mashpia, like a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You're supposed to be dama to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. He just gives and gives and gives and gives and gives. He's never looking for even a person to say thank you. He gives because he gives because his mahus is good. You will never be bothered in life because you're looking to give. If a person wants, they'll take. If they don't take, they don't take. The problems come because we're makabel. We're always looking. Now, we are human beings. We do need to be makabel. But the more we can download bitachon, we have a true relationship with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. We become happy with what we have. We don't necessarily need emotionally from other people. Okay, I have to be careful what I'm saying. We do need, don't get me wrong here. We do need to have a relationship with people. I mean that we're not totally dependent. We're not going to lose our brains if we don't get it. Even though we need to have relationships and we need love from other people. But then we're in the mode of mashpia. The mode of mashpia, I'm not sure if I'm adding anything to this. The mode of mashpia is not going to take hits because he's not looking to receive. He's so happy with his life. And this is one of the outcomes of what Chaim said. He's so at ease with his life. It doesn't mean he has millions of dollars because he trusts the Kadosh Baruch Hu that whatever he has is exactly what he's supposed to have. I therefore don't need to be worried. I can now give over to other people. I don't need everybody to hear my sorrow case and I should feel like a victim and everybody should come and poo-poo me and make me feel good. I don't need that. I have a Kadosh Baruch Hu. I can help other people who are in need. If you could appreciate that, maybe I'm not saying it right, but everything changes. It's v'nafach of life. It's really v'nafach of life. You just added. They didn't.
Yeah.
Or said the same thing. Yeah, on target. Yeah, okay. It's a good way of saying it, though. It's a nice way of saying it.
There's a 100-0 theory, which is to give 100% of yourself and expect 0 in return. Is the greatest way to set yourself up for success in any relationship, because the more you could adapt your thinking to 0, to just give 100%, and the more everybody could do that, you can imagine what that does to the world. That obviously does not happen, but nevertheless, the more you could adapt yourself to the 0 expectation, then even 1% is mega. Like you're only setting yourself up for tremendous success,
right?
In everything you expect.
Low expectations.
100. I'm going to give.
Let me ask you. I'm curious though. In the non-bitachon world, in the bitachon world, the way that you can give 100 doesn't matter if it's to your wife, your kids, your friends. The way you can give 100 and not expect anything in the world of bitachon is because you have a Kadosh Baruch Hu with you. He wants you to give it all, and if you're supposed to get, you'll get, but you can't expect from anybody. So in the world of bitachon, that's what we're talking about. How do they explain this in the non-bitachon world? How does a person, as a human being, how does he do that? That's hard. I don't want to give to them unless they give me a little.
How do they explain it?
They just say, do it because it works?
Well, exactly what I just said. When you expect 0 and all of a sudden you get 1%, then you actually have...
No, I know, but how do you get a person to actually do that? How do you give a person to there are certain personalities that I think can do that. But how would you understand what I'm asking? I say in bitachon we have I don't want to say God's a tool, but we have an ability to live like that with bitachon. I'm just wondering, in the non-bitachon world, how do you tell a human being?
I went to a seminar years ago by a real estate mogul, and one of his philosophies was giver's gain. That's his interpretation. Giver's gain. So it says if you give and you give and you give, not that necessarily you don't have an expectation, but if you give, then you'll receive, for the efforts of giving. So the philosophy was giver's gain.
Yeah, of course, and chesed and tov. I think a lot of people know that, but at a certain point, if you're not getting back, it's going to get very hard. See, if you're giving, and you're not receiving anything at a person, everybody has a certain amount of time. Fine, for a week I won't get, a month, 6 months, a year. I've been giving myself fully. I haven't gotten anything in a year. At a certain point, a person's going to break. With bitachon, you have something to hold on to never break. I mean, we could always break even with that, but okay, it doesn't matter really. Bitachon helps in this 100%, 100 to 1. What do you say? 100 to 0?
100-0.
It's huge.
It's an ideal.
It's an ideal, but at least let's go 90-10, 80-20. The more we're willing to give than have expectations, it'll go better in the relationships. All right.
Came to this year expecting the last.
Hashem will continue next week.
Right.
No expectation.
Remember we said the low expectations.
That's
No,
normal.
but I'm saying it. The low in Hebrew is even no expectations.
Oh, I was going to say, lo, I'm above to him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Oh.
You can always do both.
If that's the case, why you in the shirt?
So the only way you could get somebody to
I like being around
is to
everybody.
inspire somebody.
What
I
do
like
you say?
being around everybody.
In secular thinking, the only way you can
But
do
if there
that
wasn't
is
a
to
shear,
inspire
I'd be okay.
somebody to live that way.
Just try to do it and see.
Yeah, and also
If they would. But again, a person at a certain point is going to have a breaking
So
point.
ask me. I don't know.
How much can they give
So ask me.
100 and not get?
it depends how healthy their ego is. If they have a
This
healthy
whole
ego,
thing is you can't even get into this without a health, without a.
right?
You know what I mean? It's like a circular. That's why when you bring bitachon in, you're bringing something outside of the system into this. You know what I mean? Into the psyche. You have now what to rely on outside.
Yeah, the 100-0.
Is this on the?